And I feel like making skateboarding videos is not work to me. I feel like it's having fun.
When I was younger, I used to draw tons of unicorns, and man, I think my dad was pretty weirded out for a while.
Am I supposed to say I'm Tim Barry? Living the thug life?
So yeah, Lookout Records was started because of homegrown marijuana money.
We get a noise warning. Dude, they're rocking 200 yards away.
I want to play parties, so like parties where we get paid $1,000 or more. We're working on that. Wow, it's gonna be a pretty good party. Yeah, they got $1,000.
When you first discovered, you know, punk rock, like it wasn't like you were some like little Nazi. You know, it was more like, oh my God, I'm not a freak.
So we're here with a couple members of King Diamond today.
I forgot my makeup. Mastodon.
Wait, you want to hear something really awesome?
No, I didn't finish it. Where is it?
I enjoyed Barcelona very much. I wish that we could have more time over there so I can plant my seed.
Thanks for coming to the show. Yeah, let's fucking mill them out. Come on! Keep your eyes up my fucking stupid hairline, please.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not talking philosophy or politics no more. I'm 30 fucking 1 years old.
How did you guys coming from the same town in Virginia end up being Baroness from Savannah, Georgia?
I was stationed here in the Army, and then John moved down here, and we lived together, and then Summer moved down here, and Alan never moved down here. But we have a long distance relationship with Alan.
But he's from Georgia.
Yeah.
So how's that work out, like writing songs that you listen
Sucks.
to?
It really doesn't work out that well. I have to move up to Virginia for a month in order to write 12 minutes of music.
Practicing is touring.
In our heads.
Kind of thing.
And we practice on tour.
So you think that's kind of slowed you guys down?
I think it's slowed us down in a lot of ways, but I also think that it's made us work that much harder because we don't have the time. So the time that we do have, it's like.
When's plans for Unfolding? Is that third or is that?
See what happens.
It's kind of record. It's just whenever I actually move down, which would be January.
John, did you know from the beginning that you would do all the artwork, or did that?
Yeah, I mean that was sort of the plan from the beginning was that we were going to try to keep as much of just the whole package, the whole sphere that we're in, just trying to keep it with amongst the four of us and amongst people that we know, which is why we record with our friends, which is why we tour with our friends, which is why I do the artwork. So it's just like a cohesive thing, and we ultimately control that whole thing, and nobody else is putting their hands in our cookie jar.
How did the UK tour? How did that happen?
Just like a lot of our other ideals, we didn't plan on making tours across the seas and the whole promotion machine happen until somebody came to us, as opposed to sending out glossy pictures of Tim in the skivvies and oiled up riding a donkey. I mean, we don't do that. We hope that as a credit to our music that somebody's going to approach us.
You're not gonna go on tour with Europe?
Yeah, I've got school and job and stuff. So one of all of our best friends from childhood, who we all took, it's his brother Brian, is gonna be filling in. So we've been playing in bands with that guy forever. So it's a very natural pick. It's not like a yo, you're kicking me out, fuck that guy thing. It came very easily. So I mean, it's all good. I gotta do other stuff. So it's kind of.
So is this a permanent thing, or is it temporary?
Yeah, it's looking that way, but I don't know. I'd never say never on a lot of things, but for now, just to be fair to Brian, we can't be oh, you're just gonna fill in. Brian's a great musical force. He's an awesome guitar player and songwriter, so I think let him do his thing with Baroness and write some cool songs, and I'll do my thing for a while, and whatever.
First metal record you ever bought?
My first metal record was Metallica, Ride the Lightning, and the metal album that I'm listening to most right now is Metallica, Ride the Lightning.
Wait, you want to hear something really awesome? First 7-inch I ever bought. This is funny. So we're gonna bring it Less Than Jake again, okay?
Oh,
it was
no.
the Less Than Jake Megadeth split. I got that, and I was like, this is amazing. Totally cryptic writings, which is making it greater of the Megadeth album. Whatever. I don't care.
Wow, 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 like that.
Do you think it would be harder to do this still later on after you've been in more popular bands to start over again?
It's actually a lot easier not being the headlining band. You don't have to show up for sound check or anything like that, and people come to see you still, and then you're done, and there's another band afterward. I kind of like it.
Shit is easy, man.
Shit is fucking easy. That's kind of our motto. It's pedals. No, that's cool. That takes a lot of effort and it's time consuming.
Big business takes it easy.
Thanks for coming to the show, guys. We're really excited to be here. The vibe is up.
I was in a band with Dave Hernandez, who's in the Shins now.
In the Shins?
Maybe you've heard of them. But it was called Broadcast Oblivion, and he joined the Shins, and that kind of nipped that whole project in the bud. And I had known Jared for a few years peripherally. Our bands used to play together, the Murder City Devils and Ty Bros from way back when. And so we would end up sometimes hanging out with the same people at the same parties. I don't know. I called him up to see if he was doing anything. Networking. That's it. I totally like called him up one day because I had nothing to do because my band broke up, and asked him if he wanted to start a band. It was a little. I was hoping that didn't come across.
That's what you thought initially?
Well, initially that's
the
what
nerve
I
of
thought,
this
but
guy.
you know what? He was so polite. He had the best manners ever. I couldn't say no.
you don't. I mean, you don't have anybody with you on tour, right? It's just you two.
We had a guy, or we had two guys on our last tour. I think 3 people on tour for us is the perfect combination. It's like we don't really have to worry about t-shirts and selling records and merch and stuff like that. Two guys is a little bit thin, but we had our one guy who's gonna come with us ditched at the last second because he has like a job or something like that he had to go. He had to make money or something. I don't know. There's basically like our criteria for a person that we take on the road is you have to be able to get along with both of us. You have to be hilarious. You have to like want to work really hard, and then you also have to not want to get paid at all. I want to play parties. Like I want to play shows where people are there to have a good time and
parties where we get paid $1,000 or more.
We're working on that.
Whatever you can make.
Well, it's gonna be a pretty good party.
Yeah.
If they got $1,000 to throw around.
I don't know. It's just weird to me like how many shows happen or I've seen that aren't even fun at all. Like it doesn't seem like people who show up to those shows want to have fun or a good time or like are into what's going on at all. And it's like I miss being like 21 and going to a basement show and everybody's losing their shit completely, and it's the best time you've ever had in your life. And like you come out of this weird haze looking around and like there's somebody hanging from the ceiling and somebody's on top of somebody else and everybody's like singing the words. It's like I want to have fun like that all the time at shows. Like and it just seems like more than ever now. Like everything's so fragmented. And there's so many different weird scenes, and if you're a kid somewhere, like God damn it, have fun. Like that's all you got.
Serena my thoughts, I can't afford the pain, so I bought a piece of mind while my hands sketched 7 I saw. Through the board, 4 seasons of war. To landlords being hardcore, evicted is poor for money. Life's a bitch, but I'm the seasonal whore. Like STDs, burn the weed, earn the greed, that's more. Fuck a folklore, I keep it raw. Truth I store to find more hope, raw while I sleep on floors, my nigga. I know I gotta struggle, the struggle is a hustle. I'm flipping every word, bag it up and hope it touch you. So you could be a fiend that I can see dreams, but with my eyes open, living and enjoy being. Life, I want it bad, I gotta have it. Thoughts of a loner or the muck, I'm a lone maverick. Living the Armageddon and battling status quo. Moment of truth here, go for what you know. Locking the hands of thugs, there's money and selling drugs. Fiends get cracked up and kids need the hands of love. Drink to my sorrow raw, I never chase nothing. I let it hit me hard to make sure I feel something. Living the Armageddon and battling status quo. Moving the truth here, go for what you know.
Only the lonely knew it, living with many bruises, but that's okay. Through hard times I move through it, feeling the beat of rhythm, hoping you niggas hit him. The drummer boy kept us in line, we gonna get it. Marching in victory, fists closed and raised high, breaking the enemy mentally till we push aside. Come on my brother, we marching to the front lines, collapsing on the backs of those that just died, holding my banner high, my arms they don't quiver. I move with purpose, determined just to be the winner. Cry me a river after, for those who didn't make it. I make sure the memories never forsaken. They paved the way for me, so I can live and breathe. So after they gone, I'm here to tell the younger seeds.
Strive from the background, push through the middle and fight to the forefront. Nigga, we gon' get it up. Strive from the background, push through the middle and fight to the forefront. Nigga, we gon' get it up.
No, this is not the real one. We're on Real TV. This is for VH1 Real World. My name is Silas. I'm the the hip hop angry black guy. Tired of this real world.
Hey Dave. Hey Mike. How's it going? Pretty good, man. How you doing? How you feeling?
Better. How did you enjoy Barcelona?
I enjoyed Barcelona very much. I enjoyed looking at the women very much. I wish that we could have more time over there so I can plant my seed. Because my goal is to have a child with a different woman from each country so I can have a multicultural army.
On invite dans un moment l'émission du cinéma, mais qui s'en écarte aussi pas mal de fois. Donc beaucoup d'agitation.
Basically, we met, me and Sice, the other lyricists, were friends from high school. We met in high school, freshman year of high school. We met Spec and Enoch because we were looking for beats.
So essentially, since we were younger, we were working
as separate teams, and then through a friend, came together and formed a group in 2001.
First of all, just introduce yourselves.
Site Star, on the MC in the group Sign.
Mike, I'm one of the producers in Sign.
And Enoch, one of the producers from Sign.
Akeem, MC. Oh, I didn't realize that everyone was doing stage names. Okay.
My name is Lope Dog.
How did the name Sign come about? And what does it mean?
Sign is it's a cultivate your new experience. That's what it means for that. Also, basically, when we first came up with it, it was like it means people don't listen to anything too much anymore. They want to kind of do their own thing, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody still will follow signs. You know what I'm saying? Or see this, or they try to prophesy this or that, whatever.
A sign is like the most simple way to convey a message, and they're pretty universal. Most, like most countries, most people follow the same signs.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's sort of rooted in that.
Is that like a message you're trying to convey? Or
Well, like I don't want to say there's a definite thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's ever evolving. Every day these cats got new music that they let me hear that changed the way I might think about a rhyme. I don't want it to ever be a certain way. Every project we do, I hope that we just bring something really just next to the table. You know what I'm saying? Something just like different every time, something new. At the same time, you're gonna get something from it. Like you never gonna hear me talking about bullshit. Like, yo, I got this, I got that, and you're never gonna hear simple ass beats from him. You know what I'm saying? So the theme that I am talking about, a lot of our work is just look a little closer.
Mm-hmm.
Just feel things out and see things as they are and kind of take it in. Don't just.
We're always saying that like the best way to convey it is that our music is in direct relation to our experience. It is the representation of the four of us as an experience musically, like emotionally, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Half the time when we get together like this, it's just like we're talking about what we're listening to at the time and always exchanging, new music with each other and sort of opening each other's ears up all the time.
Obviously, Gainesville, Florida, is like the epicenter of hip hop culture. Or do you find it's hard to get taken seriously as being a group out of Gainesville, Florida? Do you find that's a setback?
I mean, I think there's two ways to look at it. For me, is like, I mean, sometimes it does feel like a setback.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like I grew up here, so I think what we've done, for me, it means a lot and it's important because when I was growing up, there was nothing like this that I could see really.
Yeah.
So in one way, I'm really proud of that, But it has been hard for people like in other cities to take us seriously because it's like, where the fuck is Gainesville,
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is they're not actively seeking out for other Gainesville groups, you know what I mean? But I think most people who eventually hear our stuff, it's not like they're trying to make a distinction by location. So that's really the bottom line of the trouble has been getting the records into people's hands.
Yeah. Okay, I noticed in the footage, Akeem, you were absent through pretty much half the footage we saw.
Yeah.
So I guess you had to sing, rap most of the lyrics as well?
Oh, yeah, we had to it's very improv. We had to do last minute.
I had problems getting over there, so
you should tell the story.
Yeah, let's go ahead and let people know.
I'm from Africa originally. I was born in Africa, raised in Africa. I came here when I was 8 years old, so it's like I had to get a visa to go to Germany. So I had letters from the people that I was going to see. I had bank statements from my mother, my father, my uncle, my aunt, my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? They were saying all this blah, blah, blah. We don't see why you're trying to go over there. You're only going to be there for 5 days. And it was a lot of bullshit, man. So it killed a lot of the momentum for us to do this shit because it was like, damn, I basically only made the France tour, which, it was good though. It was worth it. It was better than nothing, but yeah. So
it unfortunately sort of boiled down to this is what the guy from our label was sort of saying what he felt from them from the consulate back in Berlin was just felt like institutionalized racism for the most part.
Any strange weird moments?
Well, that was a definitely,
we lost Clyde once.
Actually. Lost me, yeah.
We all got on a train without him.
Yeah.
That was good.
Some stand was confusing. So.
Yeah, a lot of confusion going on.
No, there was nothing confusing about it. He was hungry and went looking for a sandwich, and the rest of us got on a train.
See.
always a hotspot for alternative culture, San Francisco gave way to the punk explosion of the late 70s. With bands like the Dead Kennedys and MDC leading the way, the foundation for a real punk community had been set. Inspired by what they had seen before them and encouraged by the upstart Maximum Rock and Roll magazine, a new wave of DIY punks had created their own scene. One of the most active members of this new movement was David Hayes. Whether it was being on the radio or putting out records, David was part of one of the most exciting times in punk's history.
When you moved to California, when?
1967.
Do you remember the first punk band you saw?
Serious punk band, I think, probably was the Effigies from Chicago, because they opened for the Toy Dolls at the Mabuhay in San Francisco.
A long time ago, I got to stand in a room with Tim Yohannan. Like, I never really met him, but I got to stand in the same room with him. I was probably 22 years old, and it was pretty exciting. Do you remember the first time you met him?
First time? I'm not sure. I moved out of my parents' house into a house with Dave MDC and Lawrence Livermore and a guy named Joe. And it was probably a couple days after that I met Tim.
Do you have any impressions from your first meeting of him?
I think maybe I was confused by the fact that he was such a small person, but I have absolutely nothing but respect for him in hindsight. There was nothing negative I could come up with to say about him.
I've never been around someone that was so convinced of what they were doing was right.
And he has a political magazine filled with rhetoric about animal rights, and not rhetoric, but in a positive way. And then he would order pork chops. I've never seen anybody else order pork chops to go.
He used to do a show on MR Radio when he used to.
Yeah, but just every once in a while, whenever it came up. Absolutely everything that was Maximum Rock and Roll related, I was in on it on day one.
Right.
It was weird, for sure, because it was the same. Seems like a clique. Because it is. It's a clubhouse where a bunch of people are so used to being there that they behave in a way that seems like it's elitist, but it's not.
Is there a band that you think is entirely underappreciated from like the late 80s, like East Bay scene?
Number one is Soup.
That's because they never recorded.
Fuck you. They never released.
No. I didn't. You know that Jesse.
They play. I'm talking here. They were the first band ever to play at Gilman Street. They were the opening band on night number one.
I did see someone somewhat recently that was a younger person and they had the Soup tattoo. I laughed.
This one right here. Drawn by Richie Booker, who did the cover for Very Small World and Dookie by Green Day, and was later in Sweet Baby Jesus. Before we did the Green Day 7-inch, Lawrence said, hey, I saw this band, they're really good, and we had to agree that we liked the band. And I went and saw them live, and I was like, fuck yeah, dude, we're going to put out their record. And to this day, I don't think Mike and Billy Joe have ever done anything to make me think less of them. They're absolutely talented, and they can harmonize like motherfuckers even when they weren't even old enough to drink.
First record you ever put out?
The first record was Turn It Around.
Right.
On MRR
that Tim
I like
kind of
to
paid
say
for
I was
it.
the babysitter.
Right.
No, he didn't kind of pay for it. He paid for it.
Tim paid for it. You kind of put it together. Got all the
Yeah.
bands together and whatnot.
I did the layout, the graphics,
Right.
it was a collective opinion as far as what bands would be on it and which songs, which at some point someone asked, how much time can you fit on a 7-inch? Like, 8 minutes. So the Turn It Around double 7-inch sounds horrible because there's way too much time on each side.
And then from there you struck out on your own.
Corrupted Morals was the first one I wanted to put out by myself. Oh man, I have to talk about the hippie now. I don't even like to say his name.
Yeah, it's up to you, man.
We'll call him Lightsaber.
You can frame it however you want to.
This guy, he also did a radio show through MRR, and he was from Laytonville, California, up where they grow pot for a living.
Is that in Humboldt?
Humboldt County, yes. I'm gonna start crying if I have to talk about this shit. Okay, Lawrence. Oh, I said his name. Damn it. The hippie. We agreed to do with his money, which was all from pot that he grew himself. Man, sponsored. The Truth is sponsored by Budweiser tonight. So yeah, Lookout Records was started because of homegrown marijuana money. All the bands that we started with were already on the Turn It Around record. And that was Corrupted Morals, Isocracy, Operation Ivy, and Crimshrine. And I actually honestly think Crimshrine was an afterthought.
So, first record's Turn Around.
Around.
First Lookout record is...
Corrupted Morals, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah. We didn't make money right away, but we sold enough to make it worthwhile.
Right.
Or to keep putting the money back into putting out other bands.
What was the first band you ever went on tour with?
First band I ever went on tour with was a little band called Operation Ivy.
What was that, 89 or?
88.
88.
I think.
Full US tour.
Yeah. We toured in a car. Matt, it was a 1969 Chrysler Newport, and Matt built a specific box on the roof that fit Dave's drums exactly.
What was the last Lookout record you did?
The Plaid Retina album.
What was your decision to walk away? It was just...
Well, I almost quit in about a year into it. I don't remember why. I did this cartoon character, not a cartoon character, I did this little drawing of some sort of creature, and his name was Floyd, for whatever reason. And I was going to put out my own record called Floyd. I didn't quit Lookout, and that became the thing that ate Floyd, and I put all those bands together. And then later, Fat put out a record called The Thing That Floyd Ate. So that was a compliment. What was the question?
So then you started very small. What was the first very small release?
Soup? Help me out here.
I thought it was Corrupted Morals again.
Yeah. That's why I got this guy. Corrupted Morals, it was old demos by them.
Yeah.
Think About It.
Yeah.
That's number one.
What is it that makes you want to put out a band's music?
So people can hear it.
What usually inspires you? Is it just the people you know, or?
It has absolutely nothing to do with style or style of music. It's all about it. Either it's good or it's not. You can't want the world to change and be narrow-minded about music. Because if you're narrow-minded, I can't talk anymore. If you're narrow-minded about anything, you can't change the world.
Well, I always heard it was like from like the whole 1990s until 99. It was like an art space that UF people, like artists had, and they did like sculpture and all kinds of art stuff. And then they got out of this place when a bunch of our friends, or my friends, were looking for a warehouse space to do shows and art, and living space as well.
I guess about 6 years ago was the first group of people that are kind of like loosely connected to us or whatever. Basically the first crew of people who would have called it the Ark and would now have the tattoo.
People had to build a kitchen and had to do without, you know, a shower for a while and stuff like that. So I thought it was pretty cool, just like to get cheap rent and to make your own space.
We do shows. We have a Books for Prisoners project. We have had off and on a bike project. It's actually on right now. We've had a garden off and on for a long time.
Largely punk shows. Some other stuff. There's been some hip hop shows. We do movie showings and stuff like that. We run
dance parties, things like that.
It always feels kind of like a clubhouse.
Shows don't pay our rent. Have never paid our rent ever.
I don't have any intention of leaving. Like I know I've heard a lot of people in different places that are similar to this, like throughout the country, that I've been to have said that like once you live in a place like this, you can't really imagine going back or whatever.
It challenges what you normally live in.
What we really believe will happen is that enough people are going to be here pretty early that it'll be weird for a band not to be playing, and so somebody will just play early and it'll be over before the like late night, like people that are at a bar for a long time trying to decide whether or not they want to go to a show, and then they get drunk enough that they decide it would be awesome to see Lightning Bolt, and then they like show up and it's done, you know.
What is this place? It's no fucking parking. You ride your fucking bike, and it's where people live, and it's where fucking good bands play.
40 days
and you want to fucking drink? It's where you fucking bring your drink to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kangaroo, you spring over to the Ark.
And it's like, there's no $3 Miller High Life. There's $3 for a 6-pack of Miller High Life. That's what it is.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah! Right on! Let me stamp you both, and then we'll take care of money, and see you guys good night. Thank you.
very nearly unbearable, but totally worth it.
I don't know about other light and bolt shows, but damn, whenever there's a show at the Arc, you know it's gonna be in your face. And damn, this place is just the best venue to see some shit like that, man. I ain't even heard the fuckers before.
We get a noise warning because lightning bolts rocking the fucking house. But they only wrote the description on one ticket, and there were 3 of them given.
So you don't know the description?
The description is...
What do you think the description would have been?
Dude, they're rocking 200 yards away.
I was involved with the space from 95 to 2001, which had similar sort of vibe. I mean, it was called Fort Thunder, probably like a few times bigger than this or something. But a similar type stuff, just like paintings on the walls, show space, beer puddles. Oh yeah, now I live in a new space where there's like about 8 of us. Again, we do very few shows because there's a lot of like building inspector type presences in Providence these days. You want to tag in Brian Hart too? Brian! You think he'll do it? He'll do it. He'll probably smarter than you. Brian says less than he's done. Cat. Oh!
I don't know what I want to talk about. It's funny because I always have this problem with interviews, and I'm always like, they're not talking about what I want to talk about. And then I think about what I want to talk about, and I don't know what it is.
What do you think about dudes?
Dudes are cool. It's a difficult thing. I mean, I guess you don't want. Once people decide that it's all right to be a dude, then all these issues that go along with being a dude, like you don't want every issue with being a dude to be okay. Because when you're talking about being a dude, you're talking about you're an animal. You know, you're a male animal. By the same token, I think if you have this idea of being a dude and you're trying to be that, yeah, and you're working really hard at it.
That's like anything. It's just kind of fake. If you got this like idea of like being a punk and you're working really hard at it, it's not really.
Yeah.
Not really working.
Yeah. Because I think actually being a dude is a great thing. But like being part of a crew of dudes is like less great, or like trying to be dude-like. Yeah. It just, you know, anything that's forced is wrong. But it's when people are doing what's natural, it never seems wrong. It's good. I think. It's pretty awkward. It's fun.
It's just a weird. It's cool. It's kind of.
I think it's gonna be totally something completely separate from.
Yeah.
All right. So we're here with a couple members of King Diamond today.
I forgot my makeup.
Mastodon. Do you think that now that you guys are doing more stuff, chasing the whale, is it
we know where the whale is now. We spotted it, and we're closer to catching it now. It is
it's in grasp.
We have our sights set on it, but the hunt still goes on.
He's chasing us now.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
It's different now.
The hunter becomes the prey?
Yes.
Wow.
Exactly.
Has it had any negative effect being gone from home so much, or?
Well, I mean, I just had a baby, so it's kind of. He's only 9 months old. You know, it's kind of just sucks not being there for him.
Him being on the road,
you know?
pregnant was a bitch too.
I know. After Brent peed in my butt, I didn't know what to do. So I guess I'll have to have this baby. But yeah, I mean, it is pretty tough because, you know, a lot of your friends want to come out and see you, and it's like, man, I can't. You know, I got a family, and it's like, I can't go out right now. I go out every night on the road, so I don't know.
Does anybody, either you two or anyone else in the band, have any like other incredible talents outside of being able to play music? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, Braun. Yeah, I think he's in the Guinness Book of World Records with the longest eyebrow.
World's longest eyelash.
He actually had it. It's in there. I
That was
think
like
it's coming
down
out
to
this
here.
year.
I'm dead serious. And Guinness Book of World Records
like
came
out
over
to
his
here.
house and everything. He's
Yeah.
in the Guinness Book of World Records.
I don't know
for
what
the
kind of
longest
talent.
eyelash in the world.
What kind of talent that is.
That
but
is
it's-
incredible.
It's
It's not really talented though.
It's a random.
It's just happened.
hair to
Did he
grow.
cut it?
No, he went to the dentist one day, and the lady thought it was a hair laying on his face, and fucking pulled it out.
That's random.
I'm dead serious. Like, you know, she's like, "Oh, honey, we still got a hair on your face there, darling. Let me get it for you." Plucked it out. He's like, "What the hell? That was the longest eyelash in the world, you stupid bitch."
Can anyone in the band suck their own cock?
I've done it once. I got the tip in my mouth, and the next day my back was killing me.
Yeah.
I used to be in a band with a guy who could do it, but he was really skinny, and he showed me how to do it. back like this with his legs behind his head and like walk down the wall.
I've tried, and it seems like the most frustrating part is not that I'm not getting it, but how close I'm getting.
Exactly.
It's
Like
just
I
like,
said, I
right,
got the tip
right
in there
there.
one time, and it was just like the next day, man, I had the worst backache.
We can take it to the grave though that you've done it. You know.
Yeah.
No one can ever take that away from you.
No, I've done it.
You like the big girls or small girls?
Like girls with some meat on their bones.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's not the girls that are too skinny. Like if they're under like 125 pounds, forget it.
Yeah.
Eat a fucking bologna sandwich and then talk to me.
Compare yourself to one member of the A team. Who do you most identify
Face.
with? Face?
Definitely. Yeah, you're definitely Murdoch.
I'm Murdoch. Braun's Hannibal.
More like the
Your face,
head of
I'm Murdoch.
operations.
Troy's...
Mr. T?
Nah, Troy's not B.A. Baracus. I don't know, man. Troy's not in our fucking A team.
Did you guys have any other band names that you kicked around before you settled in on Mastodon?
Upside Down Satanic Rainbow.
Yeah.
One. Acoustic Pumpkin. Black Mackerel.
Bean Fang, Corn
Bean
Hammer.
Bean Hammer and Corn Fang.
Corn Fang.
All
We
sorts of
had
good
some.
ones.
We forgot them all. That was years ago. We're thinking of those names.
Like you guys are definitely more like laid back and like comical than I bet most people would realize. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you
as
can't take
individuals.
yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
ever.
We've met a lot. We've met just about every heavy metal band there is, other than Metallica, and like as far as all the guys that want, like our peers, like people like Dillinger, Escape Plan, and like Killhall and bands like that. All those dudes that play those music, in those bands, they're the funniest, silliest motherfuckers I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, there's a time to be goofy. There's a time to be serious. You know, we're serious about everything we do. Look at that cute little puppy over there taking that dump. That's nature.
Ah, yes, the circle of life. As he takes, so does he give.
Watch out, concrete.
All right, thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, dudes.
I will sprinkle clean water upon you, and you shall be clean. From all your filthiness upon your idols will I cleanse you.
hello, shit. Hello, shit. Thanks for coming to the show. Yeah, let's fucking mill about. Come on! Keep your eyes off my fucking stupid hairline, please.
So Jordan, Chris, where'd you first meet?
Surprise question. In a hockey dressing room, actually.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You were like 13 or so?
Yeah, Pee Wee House League hockey in Portage la Prairie, Manitoba.
Who was a better hockey player?
Well, he was goal,
Oh.
and I was right wing.
He was right wing, yeah.
So, in more ways than one.
Where did your bearings come for punk rock? You know, like, how did you come up with the sound? How did you develop as a band at the very beginning? What was the nucleus of that?
I don't know. The way I remember it was us wanting to form a band for a number of years, like high school, and then we started going to university for a little bit, and there was about a 5-year period where we sort of tried to pick up instruments and learn to play, and through that 5 years, like the music influences kind of developed, and I think we gained a lot of respect for a lot of political content in certain bands that were happening at the time.
I think MDC was the one, like
Yeah.
Jord got an MDC record, called the Millions of Dead Cops record, and I couldn't believe it when I looked at it, and I thought it was ridiculous. Like I couldn't believe the lyrics. I thought it was absurd. I'd never heard anything like it. But then went home immediately, got a copy of it, and would sit there reading these lyrics that I thought were absurd, and then realizing that it was actually me who was absurd, and the lyrics made a lot more sense, and their view of the world resonated more with what was happening outside than mine did. So I think for me that record's so pivotal, and just like really shaking up my worldview.
Why Glenn Lambert?
Just this guy we knew. He played hockey on the same team where me and Jordan met, and he was this crazy motherfucker in Portage, and he's always fighting, and he'd always fucking grab me, and he'd pile drive me onto cement floors in the dressing room, and just his character always stuck with us. I think he's a fucking weirdo.
His vocabulary consisted of 2 words. First one is and the second one is
yeah.
So but why intentionally transpose that over to propaganda? Why say on your website, and why?
Well, I think it was just very random and flippant, and then it developed a life of its own as it turned into a rumor that I had died and was replaced by Glenn.
Have you read anywhere that someone has picked up that Glenn's just not as good a singer, or even a better singer than you were?
I've seen, someone said there were some postings going around on the internet about that.
There's a wide range of responses. Some of them are bagging on Todd and I for keeping the band going without Chris, and I can't believe you guys are doing that. And some are like, man, this Chris, or this Glenn guy, fuck, he's really good. He's better than Chris.
What type of jobs did you have when you were younger?
McDick's, janitor, tow truck dispatcher, map maker.
I was a psych nurse's assistant.
Ass wiper
for 5 years. Crop insurance filing clerk. And home care attendant.
Was it true that there was a riot in 1996 at a propaganda show in Denver?
Yes.
Explain the riot.
The police came into a building that was full of young people and just said the show was over. And
because they refused to turn on the air conditioners, and a young woman who happened to be at the show drinking inside passed out because it was very, very hot. And then they canceled the show. Then they wouldn't let a bunch of people who were in outside to get back into the show. They sort of cut the door off. And there's 300 people waiting outside. They basically said, fuck that, and stormed in. And there happened to be an off-duty cop who was hired to do security. He just jumped the gun and called the boys down. And they basically came in and started unplugging guitars on a band that was playing live on stage, and grabbed the mic and said the show's over. And then a few kids started hucking water bottles at the cops, and then they just started gassing everybody immediately. It was totally fucked.
Gassing how? Like tear gas?
Yeah.
Like it looked like a fire extinguisher being blasted in people's faces.
Amazing.
And then running out in the street, it was just total mayhem with cops throwing 14-year-old girls to the ground and pinning them down with their knees on their backs. And I saw one kid driving in this car. His buddy was taking him into the hospital, I'm assuming, and his arm was just dangling like this, and he's just going, look at what the cops did to me.
There's helicopters.
And helicopters flying around. It was just fucking
We were on the news.
outrageous.
Made the news.
Wow. Have you been back to Denver since?
Yes.
Fine?
Totally fine.
Okay. Have you guys ever made an effort to hold concerts in predominantly non-white neighborhoods?
We have, but white people show up.
Well, no, I mean, but like, I mean, I'm just trying to like automatically change the tenor of the concert, because like I live in East Los Angeles. If you throw a show in East Los Angeles, it's automatically mixed. You will have white people. I mean, but you're going to have a huge Hispanic, crowd coming in too. So have you ever tried to ever think of plotting tours or anything like that, or is it just a?
Essentially, it's like a white male-dominated sort of thing. But I am interested in playing with different sort of genres of music and stuff like that to round out, race, class, and gender and that sort of thing, for sure.
Do you still think you're connected to underground punk rock in a regional sense now, or you just?
I'm not good to answer that question because I sort of cut myself off from new music a few years ago completely, almost.
Why is that?
I just got bored with it. I couldn't stand the amount of crap that was coming out. And just, the 80s I thought was really, really exciting before the big corporate carrot being dangled in front of everybody and everybody trying to sound like something that was successful already. It seemed like there was way more variety. However, I have thought about that because, all the corporate mess and the sort of homogeneous kind of approach to music in general from white middle class dudes would have the effect of that would have to be that there must be a new thriving underground scene sort of developing in different areas, and I know that it's kind of happening, but I just don't know what form it's taking and all that kind of stuff. But I would hope that there's exciting things going on in those scenes for sure.
That's a good answer. How'd you guys get fucked over in Japan?
We didn't speak Japanese, and there was a contract put in front of us about half an hour before a show we were supposed to play, and the guy was like, "Oh, you guys gotta sign this now. I gotta go home. It's my daughter's birthday." And all this stuff. And we're like, "Oh, fuck, okay, let's just sign it." And then he said, "Oh, there's a tsunami coming. This show is canceled. You owe us $6,000, and if you don't play these shows basically for free, we're gonna sue your families back home for every penny they have."
So yeah, that was our first time there. We had a 3-show tour. That one was canceled, and then we had to play the other 2 basically. Yeah.
Have you gone back?
Yeah, it was great. We went back kind of on a more DIY level.
Yeah, with J Church actually.
Cool.
Lance
Lance being
set it
involved,
up, and yeah, it was really good.
That's good. Or what could be something like somebody in suburbia, not really politically aware? What could be some very simple things that they can do to start that process?
Of becoming aware, or in getting actively involved.
Either one.
Yeah, I would recommend people just taking the time to find out what's going on in their area, and picking a little area that they happen to have like a passionate interest in, whether it's like around an anti-war theme or a pro-environmental kind of thing or whatever. I don't know if punk is a good gateway that much anymore, considering, like, say, before 9/11 with Seattle, Quebec City, and all the anti-G7, G8 sort of stuff going on everywhere around the world. Everybody's protesting this shit all over the place. And then 9/11 kind of happened, and the corporate media really sort of shifted everything to focus on that, and excluding all other issues. And I don't know, I think that there was a lot of momentum going on there, and I think that momentum's continuing. But it's just kind of like, with that, I think, and you're speaking earlier about co-optation of music and all that, I think that it's really, really dangerous for punk bands and people supposedly representing, kind of like counterculture, in basically extending a hand to corporate America to help legitimize their corporate interests to a whole new slew of people that may otherwise think that level of stuff is just horseshit and has to be acted against. I think it really, really confuses things for kids, and is a critical tool for the powers that be in legitimizing their interests and regenerating their control. So,
where Nike or Coke can come in and have an ad campaign that almost looks like a zine from 5 years ago.
I think it seeps down to even lower levels, like less mainstream levels. I think even punk labels are also leveraging that sort of imagery and vernacular to suck people into things that don't really matter and give themselves this idea of street cred, where it shouldn't exist.
Everybody dive.
We can consider someone else. Don't tell me what to do.
Red, red, our eyes are bleeding red. The night went on so damn long. Should have stayed in bed. We should have stayed in bed. Wrong, wrong, yeah, everything went wrong. We try hard to forget it. We'll fix it with a song. We'll fix it with this song.
2 years after I got out of school. I think it was I graduated in '99. This was in, I think 2001, was a show in New York that Justin Kaufman curated, and it was called Decipher. And it was with some really big dudes, and it really freaked me out because that was the first show that I did. I had no idea how the art world worked, and so I thought once you had a show in New York that you were going to be rich. I was planning on quitting my job after I went out there, and I didn't sell one piece. And I was so bummed. I thought I had it all figured out, but I came back here and realized, it wasn't going to be that easy. And so when I got back here, I started talking with some of my friends, and we thought we should probably open up our own art gallery here and try to do stuff, try to grow our scene rather than latch onto somebody else's scene. And so we opened up Camp Fig. That's been open almost 3 years now. Really, that's kind of given me the most opportunities as far as my artwork goes, because I was able to curate shows and sort of handpick people who I was inspired by and put together shows here. That's the first board that I ever had printed, and it was a board for Powell. Mm-hmm. That's a guy taking a shit wearing full pads.
Yeah.
I don't really know how that got printed. A friend of mine told me that Ed Templeton was going to be in Austin for a Fugazi show, and he said that I should bring him a bunch of zines because he was on a road trip, and I felt really self-conscious about it at the time because I didn't know him and I felt like a real goon approaching him. But at the same time, I thought that if I was on a road trip and someone gave me a bunch of zines, I'd be really stoked. So I brought a bunch of zines and gave them to him at this Fugazi show, and then later he gave those to Michael Burnett while he was at his house, and Michael Burnett ended up getting me a job at Thrasher. And then later I saw it again at an art show in California. And so I just walked up to him and said, "Hey man, I really appreciate you showing those zines around because I got work through it." And then at that time he said, "No problem, it's your work," and asked me if I would do some board graphics for Toy Machine. And at the time I thought maybe he was just being polite. I was like, there's no way, it's too good to be true.
So you're given a sort of a guideline to go by, or was it just you were free to do exactly what you wanted? I mean, because
I sent in a couple graphics, and Ed told me which boards they needed. So he said that they needed an Austin Stevens board and a few logo boards. And so I sent in that graphic, and then I redid one of their logos. And I basically just redrew one of Ed's characters, but in my style, and almost as sort of a joke. But he said that everybody really responded to it well. And so he asked me if I'd be willing to redraw the whole graphic line, all of their logos. Of course, I said yes, and I just redrew them and added on. A lot of them have sort of pirate attributes, like hooked hands and peg legs and eye patches and stuff like that, and so they called it the Pirate series.
Like Don Pendleton seems like the other sort of you in a way to me. I've always thought that, like sort of like some sort of weird animals and stuff like that you've drawn, and like his stuff's really quite out there. It's like weird animals, you're not sure what they are.
Mm-hmm. I was into his work even before I met him, and I think a lot of the stuff that I do comes from like old children's books and things like that. And I don't know if that's where he's drawing inspiration from, but actually the name Friend Makers kind of came through an email conversation that he and I had where we were talking about how making these graphics are sort of like you're sort of like making little friends for yourself, and we were throwing those ideas around. And that sort of morphed into Friend Makers because it seemed like a lot of the art that we were doing, you're sitting at home by yourself and you're drawing little friends for yourself to hang out with. along the way, when I was a little kid, I tried to draw like Maurice Sendak, and then whenever I was in junior high, I was trying to draw like Pusshead, and then at some point along the way, I think the two just kind of intermixed, and now I feel like it's sort of like this child's book illustration, but it definitely has a darker side to it. This is a Thrasher shirt that just came out this year, and I've been reading Thrasher since I was in junior high, so I'd always kind of, as a kid, dreamed about doing a Thrasher t-shirt,
How did Vulcan come about?
They've been doing featured artist shirts since I think about '95, where every year they sort of bring some people in and kind of give them free reign pretty much to do anything they want. And so he just said I should send some stuff in, and I'm glad I did, because now I'm doing stuff for them pretty much regularly. Every season that comes out, I've been doing a featured artist t-shirt, and I went out there and met with all those guys, and it's a bunch of really cool guys that work in the art department, and I'm super psyched to be doing stuff for them, so it's definitely cool.
Okay, so the first one would be Goths.
Oh, I love them. I like their hair.
Yeah.
And their pasty faces.
Bros?
I'm not so into bros, I'm more into bras.
Tattoos?
Yeah, I got some, so I'm supposed to say they're awesome.
Segways?
Oh, the little things, the two-wheeled things?
Yeah.
I think they're like walking, but gayer.
Fruit boots?
Fruit boots, like rollerblades? I used to think they were terrible, but since no one does that anymore, I don't even think about it anymore.
Bruce Springsteen?
Oh shit, man. Yeah, I love the dude.
Graffiti?
Graffiti? Man, I think, I really think that if you're gonna put your work in a public place, you should make sure it's at a certain level, and I think a lot of the guys doing it aren't quite there yet.
Mustaches?
Whew, I can grow one in like 30 minutes, so I'm down with the mustache program.
Unicorns?
When I was younger, I used to draw tons of unicorns, and man, I think my dad was pretty weirded out for a while, but yeah, unicorns are badass.
Heavy metal?
Heavy metal? I don't know a whole lot about it, but I have some Rush records. I don't know if that's heavy metal, but they're badass.
Texas?
This is where I grew up, and if I can continue to work from here, then I'm never leaving.
Ghetto rap?
Ghetto boys?
Fat bottom girls?
They make the world go round? I missed a word, though.
Ditches?
That's about all I ride. Backyard ramps and ditches.
Longboards?
Oh, God. Get them out of here.
There you go.
That's all I got.
We'll blame it on the drink. With something so convenient, we'll never have to think. We'll never have to think. Real, point to someone real. See everyone pretending it's nothing we can feel. It's nothing we can feel.
I know, I'm part Italian, so the hair on the legs is it's an issue. But the thing is, you say that's gonna hurt so bad as if that's a bad thing, you know? It hurts so good. As soon as these pants get wet, which is bound to happen.
Just wanted to ask, someone who's been kind of continually outspoken against the war, if there's been any sort of backlash or repercussions?
No, not really. I mean, when you first discovered, punk rock, like, it wasn't like you were some, like, little Nazi, right? And you were like, and you were like, oh man, these guys are right. They changed my mind. It was more like, oh my God, I'm not a freak. There are other people in the world who feel the same way. Yeah. And to that end, I have no problem preaching to the converted, as it's said. There are times every now and then when someone will come up to us at a show and be like, so dude, I just gotta say, I like your music. Don't really agree with the politics, but I like your music, But that's not really a backlash.
You did the appearance on Conan O'Brien. What sort of feedback did you get from that?
Amazingly positive, actually. I mean, on a lot of levels. Like, you know, that was pretty early on in the run-up to the war. Myself and the other guy who's playing guitar with us now just like took duct tape and put like "No War" on our guitars. A lot of people hadn't seen even that small a gesture on television, you know, or in the mass media at that point. I was on tour for pretty much from that day for about the next almost 3 months, and not a lot of people every night, but at least one person every night would come up and be like, "Hey, I never heard you guys before that Conan show, and I liked it. I had to come check you out." Just kind of like, whoa, wow, you actually do, reach people who didn't know who you were before. And then also there were people who were like, "Thank you so much for doing that." And you're like, I was like, "Oh, I didn't do much at all, man." I mean, like.
Like I saw recently too, or I guess not so recently now, you released like an online EP with Lookout.
Yeah.
Does that kind of scare you at all? Or?
Not so much, to tell you the truth. I personally think CDs are really stupid, and I can't wait to see them go away. I don't buy CDs anymore. If I can't find something on vinyl and I want it, like, I get it online.
Right.
Whatever, like from one of the legitimate channels of purchase. Records will always be around because of what they are.
They've survived this far.
Yeah.
You can listen to your grandmother's records.
Yeah, exactly. Even as I'm like dissing CDs, I mean, I would hate to see things reduced to just downloads, because I do like all of the kind of ephemera that comes with a record,
Sure.
I just don't think that CDs are the best solution for that,
I recently Lookout's been in the news, our news a lot.
Yeah.
It's been changing a lot.
Yes.
I've worked in the music industry side of it for about 10 years.
Just explain like a very DIY.
Yeah, for a smaller like.
Right.
Okay, so I never. It's very interesting.
Whoa, you didn't tell me you're working for the industry, man. I'm out of here.
I always found it fascinating that like labels and people, especially like underground labels that started at such a rudimentary level of Lookout, they would try to mimic what major labels would do and sell music, which is kind of what it seems happened to Lookout over the years.
There are kind of ceilings in this world, and it's like if you want to, if you're comfortable living below one, then you can stay there. If you want to kind of grow like your business or whatever, sometimes you have to shift the way you do things. It's like I was saying, like getting a booking agent. Like sometimes, you got to actually send posters out for your bands.
It seems like some aspects of the underground music industry is recontracting a little bit as it expanded greatly in the 90s, and now it's kind of coming back to reality.
Yeah. No, I think you're right, and I mean there was a lot of overreaching, like in general. I think that went on, and maybe this is kind of the sort of end of that cycle, or something. I have utter faith in them that I will, that everything will be completely squared away.
That's all I have.
Yeah.
Is there?
No, I don't carry around a manifesto. It's like, that's cool, man. Yeah. We covered a lot of ground there.
Welcome to Richmond, Virginia. Am I supposed to say I'm Tim Barry? Living the thug life? Word. Every part of this neighborhood, every house has a fucking hammer swinging. All these houses used to be rented to locals, like this house, or owned by locals. And now the property values, like people's taxes are tripling. All of Richmond is just following the trend of the rest of the country. From Bosher's Dam, which is about 7 miles upriver, the elevation of the river drops 105 feet over to here to 14th Street. So it's just, obviously it's rapids. So when the settlers were coming up the James River inland, they couldn't go any further. Their boats couldn't, take them any further. So Richmond's actually started here because of that. This is the Rivanna subdivision on the CSX Railroad right here. I just rode that train from Lynchburg last weekend on a boxcar, a dirty old boxcar. And then I'm doing all this weird solo shit too. Last couple shows I played with Josh Small. He would play dobro, banjo, and mandolin on different songs. And I just do acoustic and vocals. If I'm not playing music, I'm riding these dirty fucking freight trains. And if I'm not riding dirty freight trains and playing music, I'm a fucking ballerina. I work at the Richmond Ballet, doing set carpentry and shit like that. There's these little canals that span all on the north side of Richmond. This is a part of George Washington's master plan. Before there was railroad right-of-ways and all that bullshit, George Washington created this plan to link the eastern corridor with the Mississippi and Ohio rivers. And right here where the railroad line is was basically just like a walkway where people in the early 1800s and so on would just kind of like, stroll down the river on a Sunday afternoon. Oh God, I'm gonna fall. Sardines from the Revolutionary War. This is definitely a spot where you see lots of boys and girls looking at the river making out. You can call this a make-out point. I never have. I don't make out on dead people. But I do step on them. I used to always say, when I die, fucking burn me and fucking plant a tree. I would kill to be buried right here. I would kill to be buried here. A couple presidents over here, we'll go look at them. They're dead. Monroe. This is the president for you. I think he was buried up north, but he was a Virginian. And years later, pulled him back up and buried him back in Virginia in the proper place. Is that what they said? This cemetery was resisted profusely by the city at large for two reasons. They thought burying the dead on a hill over the James River would send human like remains and juices into the river that they frequented so often. And the other reason was it would be like sacrilegious to bury them here. I can't remember exactly why. So the cemetery didn't take off. Like, it was really rare to have people buried in here. And then when Monroe was brought in here and the bird cage was brought in, it suddenly became like a great place to rest. So there's another president that I would like to show you that some people don't consider a president. And that's Jeff Davis. Not because I'm like a neo-Confederate or anything, but I am kind of a history geek. All these little graves that are in this circle are all of his kids. And I swear to God, we'll look at them. I think the oldest one made it to his teens. What does that say?
54 to 72?
Yeah. You know when people talk about the Confederacy, they're like, oh, that's a Confederate flag. See this? This is not a Confederate flag. This is a warped version of the battle flag of the Army of Northern Virginia. That's a proper battle flag of the Army of Northern Virginia. That flag up there is the last of the Confederate flags. That was the third one. So the last flag of the Confederacy is actually this. This is a proper Confederate flag. It was the Dukes of Hazzard and all them that mixed all this up. And then fucking neo-Nazis on Oprah took it to the next level. How Germans could wear this shit, I don't fucking know. Now let's get out of the cemetery. Taking you guys to one of the hidden urban swimming holes in the city.
I went down to the railroad yards to watch a train roll by. I knew the train would roll that day. I did not know what time. Good morning, Mr. Railroad Man. What time do your trains roll by? That 916 boy, 244, 25 minutes till 5. I'd like to thank you, Mr. Railroad Man. Wanna watch your trains roll by? That 916, sir, 244, 25 minutes till 5. Come on, Josh. Later on that day, I was standing on a platform, drinking some PBR, waiting for some slow jump train boys, carries an empty car. Yeah, I pulled my hat down on the side of my head. I walked across the tracks. I caught the end of a streamlined train. Never did look back. Yeah, I rode her down there to Danville town. Got stuck on a Danville girl. You bet your life, boys, she was a pearl. Wore that Danville curl. But she wore her purse tied on the side of her hip, like all them rich folks do. The very next train it came down that track, boys, I bid that gal adieu. Yeah, I bid that gal adieu, boys. I bid that gal adieu. Very next train it came down that track, yeah, I bid that gal adieu.
This is my family guitar. My mom, I can still barely play guitar, obviously, but this is my mom's guitar. She got it when she was in church.
Sound pretty good, Lance?
In 1968, dude. Took this to Vietnam, came back and sold it to my mom in 1971, and she grew up playing folk music on it. And she just gave it to me. It's a 1968 Martin. Come by tomorrow if you get a chance. If not, I'll see y'all down the road somewhere. I was high on cocaine. I was down to love. Was swimming laps in whiskey. What you feel, you catch it up. Ain't gonna shoot and dig.
I don't know, for me, like, I always felt like skating was like, that was it, you know? Once you start skating, you know, like, that's it, and it's become such, like, a part of my life. But throughout my whole life, I've always known, like, I just want to keep skating. And that's what I always did. I always kept skating and didn't worry about what I was going to do, like, for school or what I was going to do for work, and just kept skating. The turning point for me was probably, like, 18 or 19, living in Santa Barbara, just skating every day. Not really any direction on what I wanted to do. And one of my friends at the time, Jeff Taylor, was pro for Planet Earth. And I basically just asked him, I was like, hey, if I come down there, can you, like, help me? Like, just do something in skating. Like, I'd like to do skate videos, but it was like, I'll go down there and fold shirts, you know?
Right.
And so I went down there and slowly started filming everyone, and then one thing led to another, and then, you know, I finally was like, okay, this is it. Like, I'm working for Planet Earth and making skate videos. From there, it went on, like, started working for Transworld and started working with different people and got to learn the ropes of working with more than just one company or one group of people. And then eventually where I'm at now, working for Girl Skateboards. And that's kind of how it all started for me as far as making videos. So we're gonna try to get someone to go film right now. But no one wants to film, so we'll just go skate at Eric's Park.
Yeah.
Eric.
Yeah.
You ready to go skate?
Wow.
Hey, can I borrow your keys and just go skate at the park for like a couple hours with these guys just so we can film something?
Yeah, who are they?
A couple guys. Where are you guys from? Florida. A couple guys from Florida.
Oh, guys in Florida there.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna come by in like 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
There.
Later.
Frosty.
Yeah.
Yo.
Hey,
Hey.
where you going?
That's the front one. This one is?
No,
This
just
one?
figure it out.
All right, cool then. Thanks.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
And have fun, yeah.
mean, ideally, I think doing what I'm doing right now, I would love to do till I die, you know? And I feel like making skateboarding videos is not work to me. I feel like it's having fun. And I feel like if I stepped outside of that, it'd be more work in a way, unless it was something that like was really close to my heart.
The video Chomp on This,
Mm-hmm.
whose idea was that?
Ativa and Aka were always talking about doing a video. Like, hey, let's do a video of just us fucking around. They talked about it for like years. And then one night we were all out. I go to Ativa, I was like, all right, well, let's fucking do it. Like, let's do this. Like, let's figure out a name for it and everything. And then one of my friends would always call me and he would be like, hey, chew on this. And he'd like play a song for me or something like that. Yeah. And then I told these guys, I was like, let's call it Chew on This. And they're like, let's call it Chomp on This. And I was like, all right, perfect. I don't remember the exact date, but from that night, I had a receipt. I would look and see what it was, so I knew what the date was. And then by the time it came out, it was 8 months later. So from the inception, or was it conception?
Right.
From the conception of the name and filming everything to 8 months later, like, we put the video out, which is pretty fast in skateboarding terms, because a lot of times it takes a while. But as far as like the serious one, Feedback is probably one of my more favorite videos. Just looking back on it now from like when Feedback came out, it was different for the time. Every skate video, as far as the majority of them, is just like trick, 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 trick. It's just a catalog of tricks of like, here's the person's name, here's the catalog of tricks that they've done in the last 2 years. Check it out. I think what we tried to do with that video was like, you know, actually show some more personality. And
It's cool there's a lot of videos out now, but it's almost like it's not like a sacred thing anymore. You never like a video you can like wait for. You
oh yeah, there's a free DVD in like every magazine that comes out now. Yeah, I think everyone's got to slow down with that for sure, like myself included. That like, it's kind of like boring everyone by putting out so much stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The way like new cameras are coming out now is like, the DVX 100 came out, what, how long did it come out, 2 years ago? A little over 2?
A little, yeah, a little.
And that like brought the first like progressive DV camera, and look at how much it's changed everything, you know? And now the next high-def version of that's gonna be coming out, and that's gonna change stuff even more, where people are gonna be able to shoot their own full like Hollywood-style movies for $5,000. And so as far as skating goes, I feel like you gotta keep using whatever new medium's out there and keep adapting to it and trying to use that and trying to keep pushing it and making stuff look different instead of the same old VX1000 with the fisheye. Bolex, Rex 5. This one's really good. They put a really big viewfinder on it. Canon Scoopik, which is Rick's camera. This was the camera they shot the beginning of Mouse with. This is a 35 Arri 2C, super lightweight. It's like the lightest 35 camera that like takes 400-foot mags.
Talk about that OGO bag thing. I mean, that's pretty rad to have a signature bag, right?
Yeah, I always wanted to make a bag. There's always a group of kids, and there's always a kid that's there with them filming, and the majority of the time they either have a VX1000, VX2000, or both of them. It's perfect. Like, why not make a bag for them that like is cheap? They don't have to pay $300 for, you know, a Low Pro or a Tamrac bag. I jumped at the offer to do that for sure. So it has your VX1000, VX2000, basically just measured both the cameras, see how wide it was, and then it both sits on the fisheyes, which is a kind of cool design feature. You know, it supports them with the weight on the fisheye, so you just leave your fisheye on the camera. You guys want to see the van? Here. You got your light stands, skateboards. Yeah. So we got these for cutting bushes. These signs, like get up curbs. Lock it down. Got this. That's good. In case you leave your keys at home. In case you forgot your keys at home too, you can use this. See what else is
in there. Like Ty's real dedicated to what he does, and you know what I mean? Putting together videos. I think he brings out the best in every skater that he works with, you know? Because he's so dedicated himself. He just wants you to like make that trick or get that video part, and it's rad, you know what I mean?
But yeah, like you said, he just sees the potential in someone and
tries to bring the best out of each guy. A result of it, some of his videos that he's made, like Yeah Right and all the Transworld videos. He doesn't sleep, so I don't know what he's on, but we're happy to have him. Keeps us old guys on the board.
I wish I could get something with them, but I can't.
Yeah. All right, top 5 filmers. Top 5 filmers would be.
Not me, I guess. Sorry.
I guess I was born and raised in Memphis. I lived farther out east for the most part. When I got old enough, I moved midtown, downtown. You know, my dad's a shoe repairman, plays music on Beale Street. Yeah, I don't know. Just lived here forever. Just growing up, we had a bad racist skinhead problem in Memphis, like Memphis area skinheads and MASH and stuff. And I think they always put area skinhead, just whatever city they were from, so I'm sure there was Cash and Dash and all that kind of stuff, but they used to come disrupt shows. I mean, I remember seeing Warzone 88 kind of thing, and, you know, they wore bandanas to get in and beat people up. Dayglow abortions came, they beat a bunch of people up. But we have a park. Most southern towns have it, you just don't know about it, or you do know about it, you don't realize it, is we have Confederate Park on the bluff. We are in Confederate Park, downtown Memphis. There's a statue of Thomas Jefferson. There used to be a statue of Nathan Bedford Forrest, which was one of the Confederate war generals, but he's more famous for the guy that started the Ku Klux Klan. They would protest, they tore the statue down eventually, but back in the late 80s, they would protest it, and then we had a huge racist skinhead scene, and they would come out and protest the protesters, and it was always really ugly. Right here, up top, this is all different. This is where Lucero played their very first show. This is another case of Memphis to some degree, to where, I mean, it's a National Civil Rights Museum and it's an amazing museum, but they did spend, you know, millions of dollars where they could have turned it into some sort of, like, we have a huge, not necessarily homeless problem, but like poor, you know, like it could have been a place for people to stay, a shelter or something, and instead they, you know, why would the world would we build a gigantic shelter out of a national monument when we can build this big shiny ode to somebody that we really didn't like, and, you know, and then tear down stacks. Or was Dallas killed JFK, we killed MLK kind of situations. Nothing like being from Memphis.
Some of it, like the Confederate flags and all that stuff, we can't really do that. It's just, there's too much history wrapped up in all that stuff. Going back and listening to Leonard Skinner and finding a new appreciation for Southern rock, that's one side of it. But I don't know if I'd go so far as to say that we've embraced the entire Southern pride thing, you know, wholeheartedly.
And it was just, I don't know, they got to a point where you're like, you know, I like sitting on the front porch. You know, you just start realizing the things that you grew up around, there's reasons. Not necessarily scary redneck reasons, but just reasons, you know. Well, eventually you rebel. I mean, you're rebelling against your parents. You're rebelling against kids at school you don't like, or you're rebelling against, and then after a while you end up rebelling against what you were using to rebel against. And I don't know if it's a come full circle type situation, or, I mean, there's people that are born in Canada, they embrace Southernness, you know what I mean?
And so yeah, it's kind of natural to go back where you came from. It's not like my family was real, at least my immediate family, my father and my mother, they weren't super musical or anything. And it's not like I was raised on Willie Nelson and Johnny Cash. That's always around. And mainly you grow up on the same kind of classic rock radio that everybody else grows up on. And so yeah, you hear a lot of 38 Special and you hear a lot of Leonard Skinner. And so that's down inside you somewhere too. I think you learn to appreciate where you're from, and yeah, you appreciate the good qualities of the way you were raised, and yeah, there's probably a little nostalgia in there too, and yeah, the songs that we play now and the kind of sound that we're going for, it definitely it brings back just the good memories of growing up and the good parts of being from the South.
Alright, here's another one that we don't have for sale over there because we're lazy and disorganized. I think it's a fair statement. Prison girl, ever I saw, stood on a bank, Arkansas. Her hair was brown, her eyes were green. She's a pretty little girl, ever I seen. Prison girl, ever I saw, she stood on banks, Arkansas. Her eyes were wild and her stare was mean. She's a pretty damn girl, ever I seen.
So, we're not a cool band because yeah, you've got the Polo Mud kids at one show, you got the Coast Guard at the next show, you got the frat boys that yes would take a bat to that guy over there if you told them to, right? And yeah, they're at the shows and they're fans, and I don't know what else they listen to. I don't care. That's the thing. I don't care what else they listen to. Like yeah, you can get a nice write-up in the New York Times, but you ain't gonna take a bat to nobody's head for you.
Happy birthday!
Yeah. Okay, I'm not talking philosophy or politics no more. I'm 31 years old.
It was only 1 year ago today that Ben Nichols was sitting on a couch with a sword, with a plastic sword and a gallon of ice cream, chocolate ice cream, on his belly.
Laying on two 400-pound men's laps.
And a bottle.
Eating-
I think there was a bottle of Jack Daniels.
Maybe.
And he was eating the ice cream with the plastic sword.
Okay, look, I told him about the naked booth.
Yeah, what happened to that? Wait.
No, they were also
This isn't
boobs.
the story you told
Yes.
us.
It's all the same
You told
party.
us
This
this
story
story.
is terrible.
He said he was in a pool with naked women. No, on that his was 30th. before. That was
so much fun.
He didn't even want to go get any more liquor.
Perspective, my friend.
No,
It's
that
all
was-
perspective.
He started off with naked women in a
Two naked chicks turned into two 400-pound men with you with a plastic sword.
It was a long night.
Guys, I don't normally wear bikini underwear. I'm only wearing it because these pants are.
You were wearing it last night.
These are my yoga underwear. I do yoga in these. I saw a picture of Sting wearing similar ones and like, oh, I gotta get those.
Somehow Sting looked a little better than you.
Yeah, just a little. You get 4 pounds.
Does that mean that you could? Does that mean you could fuck for 12 hours too?
More like 12 minutes.
But it's a furious 12 minutes.
Oh, dude. It's funny. I used to practice in an old band I used to be in across the way from a cover band that played nothing but covers. These guys had to be in their 30s and 40s, and I just swore that I would never play in a cover band. Ever. Ever. So covers are like the end of the road. It's like...
So are you at the end of the road?
Man, so it feels that way sometimes.
Giza, are you feeling it?
Roadie shit is not what it's meant to be. Nothing. It pays nothing.
Yeah, but what about the chicks?
Okay, the chicks are wonderful. I test them all out. It's my second.
Nowhere there's a show. Just
Every
go
time I
straight
fart
tank
into
top.
this pillow, it's for you guys.
Yeah.
Alright.
So I can tease the ladies.
And that's a
show 'em
lot.
my guns.
No more American talk.
He's so bummed. He's like,
We are in costume.
that's awesome. I need to do something a little.
So how do you find the fans in America?
So I don't have
Find it, it's rather grueling this tour. It's 2 dates this time instead of one, and
Pizza Fairy.
I find the fans are interested in the music, but they're lacking a I don't know, sort of panache that the English people have. That'd be my guess, yeah.
Just like witches, I black myself. Evil minds of black destruction. Across the world of just construction. Fields of bodies burning.
shut it down and it's over. But it was a great time. A lot of technical problems with me. I was tripping on acid the entire time.
Hill's living in a wax sleeve, so that's how me. You see I'm here, but no, first time see look at that. Wow.
Saying goodnight in the moonlight by the garden gate. The day they knocked on the valley, my sister stood and cried. The day they knocked on the valley, part of my childhood died, just like. But if I asked her, I wonder if she would. Come dancing to my sister.